Hello, my name is Dave Slopsma. I'm the trainer for Dimensional Consulting. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Dimensional Consulting, and the best way to do that is to take you through the web page. Let's start here at the home page. We have this animation that gives links to many different places on the web page. But let's take a little more complete tour by going through the menu bar at the top. So we have the About page, and that gives some information about me, what kind of industries I've taught in, what kind of degrees I have, a little bit about my history, just lets you know a little bit about who I am. So we have the contact page with the email address and the phone. I hope you'll come back here when we're done. Contact me about getting a free quote. We have our free online textbook. This is the place where most people go when they visit this site. I'm in the process still of writing it. It's almost done, but still a work in process. And I call it Everything I Needed to Know About GD&T I Learned from My Dog, or GD&T for Dummies. The dog aspect of it is because I use a lot of examples in here that have things to do with dogs, whether it's building a fence for your dog, building a dog house, figuring out how much dog food to use, a lot of things having to do with dogs. I'm a dog lover, and I think it makes more entertaining to have the dog examples. And subtitled GD&T for Dummies, it's just a huge emphasis of mine to make GD&T understandable. And I really believe that if you learn GD&T from a source that just presents it properly in a simple, straightforward way, you'll find GD&T is not so difficult. So I hope you'll come here and spend a lot of time here. You can see it'll go through some philosophy about GD&T, rules, standards, definitions, datums, all the different kinds of tolerances, the form tolerances, the orientation tolerances, the location tolerances, profile tolerances, run out, and some practical examples of how to do things such as dimensioning a pipe, or how to dimension a cover, how to set up the datums, things like that. Just as an example of some of my dog things in here, we have composite profile versus multiple single segment. So we have a cup here that you use for measuring your dog food, how much dog food to give your dog on a given daily basis. And we have some of the stickers dimensioned, some with a composite tolerance, some with a multiple single segment. It talks about why you would do one or the other. And I have a lot of animations in here that show the tolerance zone. Does one tolerance zone move inside of another tolerance zone? Does the part move inside the tolerance zone? And this really helps make things a lot more understandable. So I hope you'll come here and spend a lot of time there and just have a good time with it. I think a lot of people find this book pretty entertaining and very helpful in understanding GD&T. Moving on through the website, go up to the top here, the training classes. I train. I like to come to your place of business and train. Now, we have a fundamentals class. And remember I said that the online textbook is work in process. So I don't use that when I teach the fundamentals class. I teach this book, which I've been teaching out of for many years. It's a very good book, very comprehensive, explains things clearly. It's organized, it's easy to understand. We do a lot of learning from this book. The class is set up to be mostly lecture, but then with some exercises. We tend to have people call out the answers to the exercises. That way there's good class participation. I get a good understanding of how well you're understanding this subject matter. And so it's just a very good learning experience. And you can see it just covers everything there is to know about GD&T. It's a 3-day class. Sometimes we'll teach it in 3 full days. Sometimes, depending on the logistics, we might be able to do it in 6 half days. Sometimes you might divide the class into a morning class and an afternoon class, so we do 5 mornings and 5 afternoons. Just whatever really helps meet your needs. Moving on, we have the Tolerance Stacks class. Now, in the Tolerance Stacks class, I wrote the book, and I've been teaching out of it for a long time. I feel that it's been very effective. We've done a lot of good learning. Got a lot of good feedback about it. It goes through the whole thing again of starting just with what is a stack? how do we do them, why do we do them, and then all the things of doing the stack using the two-column method, which is a very organized method. You can use all of the various geometric controls. So it's a very comprehensive class. So that's the tolerance stacks class, and then there's the appliance statistics class. Now, once you get done truly understanding tolerance stacks, you realize that the answers you get will actually never happen, because the answers in a limit stack assume that all the parts are going to be manufactured at their extremes at the same time, and that's never going to happen. So it's good to understand the statistics of what's likely to happen instead of just the worst case possible that could happen. And that's what we talk about in the appliance statistics class. This class tends to be about 2 hours long. So when I'm going to teach it, I usually attach it to a tolerance stacks class. I save some time at the end, a couple of hours to go through statistics. That's really what we need in order to be able to understand it. And it tells you all the things about RSS and modified RSS and what's Monte Carlo all about, and just a whole host of things that you need to know about statistics and applying them to your stacks, so you really understand much better what's likely to happen instead of just the extremes of what could happen. And then we have the functional gauging class. This is a class that explains the ASME Y1443 functional gauging standard. This is a one-day class, and it goes through pretty much what the standard covers and explains it. It has a lot of emphasis on dividing up tolerances, because when you make a gauge, you're not going to make that gauge perfect, and how do you deal with the tolerances in a gauge? And that's really what most of that class is about. And let's move on to the GD&T Store. The GD&T Store, we have the Stacks Wizard. This is something that I created in order to help people do stacks. It's a computer program done in Visual Basic that prompts the user through the stacks. And you can learn more about it here. I sell it for $100 a piece. I also bring it with me if I do a tolerance stacks class. And if you have me come and teach tolerance stacks for you, everybody gets a copy for free. So that's our Stacks Wizard. Very, very helpful tool. I used it a lot myself when I do stacks. Then we have my tolerance stacks textbook, which you can buy separately if you wish. You can buy it in a paper copy from Amazon, or you can buy it in a PDF format from a site called lulu.com, and it has links to each of those ways to purchase it from this site. There's the book for the appliance statistics class, and that's only available in PDF format. Again, there's a link to it where you can get it from lulu.com. And finally, the book for functional gauging, which also is available only in PDF format, and here's a link to where you can buy it on lulu.com. So that very quickly is a tour through the website. Go back to the home here. I'll go back to contact, because I hope that you will contact me and give me an opportunity to give you a quote, because I'd love to come to your site and teach you about fundamentals, teach you about tolerance stacks, statistics, functional gauging, whatever you need to know. Please give me a call and let me give you a quote. And thank you for your time.